All right, this is day 23 of the 30-day Bible reading plan. And if you looked at an early version of the reading plan, it had it listed as Luke 10. That was a typo. It should have been Luke 9. So this is Luke 9, 18 through 26, a short passage today, and it's all about what it means to follow Jesus. Now, it happened that as he was praying alone, this is something Jesus does a lot in the Gospels. The disciples were with him, and he asked them, "Who do the crowds say that I am?" And they answered, and this is the question, right? Who do the crowds say that I am? And here are some options. John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others that one of the prophets of old has risen. Then he said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" And this is really the fundamental question of discipleship. Who do you say that Jesus is? And Peter answered, "The Christ of God." Remember, we talked about this word Christ, meaning Messiah. So Messiah and Christ are the same word. It's just one's Hebrew, Messiah, and Christ is Greek, but they both mean anointed. So these are the promised anointed one of God, the one who would come to set all things right. And that's what Peter confesses here, that he is the Christ, the one who was promised by God to set things right. And he strictly charged and commanded them to tell this to no one, saying, "The Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed, and on the third day be raised." So he must suffer, be rejected, be killed, and on the third day be raised. This is not what they would have expected of a Messiah. The dominant expectation by far in the first century was that the Messiah would come riding in on a war horse and run the Romans out of town. And so for Jesus to say right after Peter's confessed that he is the Messiah, for him to say that the Son of Man, which is language taken from the Old Testament, primarily Daniel, which identifies him as more than a man, by the way. It identifies him as, in Daniel, the one like the Son of Man sits on the throne of God. No mere man sits on the throne of God. He must suffer many things, rejected and killed. This was contrary to their expectations. And then this talk of being raised on the third day would have just been as baffling as it is to us. And he said to them, and here's the call to discipleship. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said it best when he said, when Christ calls a man, he calls him to come and die. And he said to all, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross." And Luke is unique here among the gospel writers who report this saying. He has daily, and follow me. For, and this is the reason, so here's what you do. You deny yourself, you take up your cross daily, and you, I guess I should have put that in circle, follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses or forfeits himself? Jim Elliot said it best, the martyred missionary, who said, "He is no fool who gives that which he cannot keep for that which he cannot lose." It's just a kind of a riff on what Jesus has said here. And the whole point of this is there's going to come a time where they're going to be challenged to confess Jesus before people who will threaten them and harm them. And so he says that it's necessary that you give yourself, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. And there will be challenges. There will be hardships. Again, when Christ calls a man, he bids him to come and die. So those who are ashamed of Christ, we're told, are not real followers of Christ. They're not denying themselves. Now, just think for a moment, ponder for a moment on this image of taking up your cross daily. we tend to domesticate this and think of it as something that's, oh, well, that's such a nice and beautiful picture of taking up your cross. And, we wear crosses around our necks, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But we tend to domesticate it. And for people hearing this language, for Jesus' original disciples to hear this is horrifying. This is an agonizing death. It would be like someone saying to get in the electric chair or take the lethal injection. It really means that your entire world is going to look differently as a result of following Jesus. And at its heart, this is what it means to follow Jesus. Just a book recommendation here. Check out the first few chapters of Dietrich Bonhoeffer's Discipleship, or it's often published in English as The Cost of Discipleship. So just read what he has to say about what it means to follow Jesus and to take up your cross daily. I hope you've enjoyed day 23, and we'll see you for the next video tomorrow.